So for step 23, the dampers, well, you can see we've got quite a few parts that we need to get off the parts tree. We've got these O-rings, we're going to need to grease it up, and you can see here it says fully screw in. So that screw is going to go right into D9, and we'll need to screw it all the way. Now the other thing that we're doing in this step is we're going to put on those rear tail lights, and you can see that they're showing you that the inside is orange, the outer is red, and then there's a chrome silver, basically like an edging all the way around. Now I've gone ahead and painted these already just to speed up the process, and they've actually turned out pretty good. They're not perfect, but just if you're as careful as you can be, you kind of can get the silver on. And then I think the way I did it was I painted the orange first, and then I tried to do the silver edging all the way around, and it's turned out pretty good. I think that's the other one as well. So from afar you can see it's definitely looks correct. Anyways, those are all painted up and ready to go. So there is the hardware that we need, the shafts, the springs, and the springs are interesting, so you will have to make sure you put them on the right way. You'll notice at the top they're more compressed, and at the bottom they're a little bit spread out. And then you've got your screws, and then here are all of the shock pieces, and then of course the lights. So I'll set this up and we'll put these together. So I think the first thing we'll do is let's just get these light pieces out of the way, and then we can move on to the dampers. So you can see that you've got this C10 piece, and then of course C9, and you're going to have to match this up. And then with the C14 piece, you can see that that would slide in just like that, and then this is going to go over top. And you'll notice the way that that is shaped, there's an edging which is going to go on the top. The bottom part is flat with no edging because it's going to cover all of this. So that's got to sit on there just like that. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to screw using these BC3s, these screws into the back so that we can have these held together. So let's do that. And I think it's going to be easier if I hold it on the ground and try and use this all as leverage. Trying to do it in the air, it doesn't work. You need to be able to put more pressure on this. Yep. Now they are tapping screws, so I'm going to go as far as I think, but not go too far. I want to make sure it's held in, obviously. There we go, nice and tight. So that's one of them. That's how it should look. So put that aside. Let's do the same thing with the other one. So we'll slide that piece in to the bottom, and we'll put this over top just like that. And then we will grab our screw and screw it in from the back. There we go. And I'll just screw this down. And there we go. So there are our finished two taillights. Very cool. So I'll put those aside for now. Now the one thing I didn't mention was this BA16 piece. And if you remember, we had some left over from step 7. So I took it and cut them into the 5mm pieces that they're wanting you to use for this. So I've got those and I'll put them aside. So let's build this. So I've got my grease here, And you can see that the way this is going to work, we've got D9 that's here. We've got our A5. So I think what I'll do is, let's look at the A5 piece for now. And you can see that there is indentation, not on that side, but on this side, which is where the O-ring is going to go. So you can see that an O-ring is going to fit just like that. You can see that that's going to slide through there. So this will end up sitting there like that on top, which is interesting. And then you can see that the compressed side is at the top of this. So that's the compressed side. And then you've got the rubber piece and everything else. So let's actually do this. We'll grease up the shaft here. Putting on a fair bit. You may not need to, but I'm going to. Okay, so now that we've greased this all up, we need to slide this into here. This side has the larger opening. This side has the O-ring, so I've put that in there. That's now going to slide down and through into, there we go. The O-ring's popped out, but that's okay. Let's get that in and through. There we go. And then you can see that this cap piece is going to go on top, just like that. Then you've got the shock itself. But before I do that, we're going to put on this the rubber tubing, because that needs to get on there. Just like that. Then we've got our spring, and then it's got to go inside of D9. Now, the easiest way to do this, I've found, is use your screwdriver, get it in there into the screw, and then you can hold D9 and turn. Now, remember what it said, they want you to screw this in all the way. So what I'm doing is making sure that that's level. It seems to be, so we'll screw this in. And I can actually use D9 as a helper to screw that whole thing in. And I'm just making sure that it is going in all the way. It does seem to be. Yep. Okay, that's it. So now we just need to put on our, what was it, D5 piece at the top. And there we have one of our shocks. And they're pretty stiff. But it looks pretty cool. It's definitely a different design, because you've got that more compressed spring, and then it's, you know, not as compressed at the bottom. Very, very cool. So I've got one other to do, so I'll do that off camera. You've seen one being built. I'll do the other one, and then we'll take a quick look. So there we have both of our rear shocks complete, and we've got our lights. Very, very cool. So that means that step 23 is complete. So we're going to move on to step 4, and we're going to install those shocks and the lights.